Hey guys, this video is going to focus on Unit 4, the proposal. Now, as you can see, we've done a couple different essays in different programs of study or disciplines. You've done the rhetorical analysis in cultural studies. You've done the literary analysis in humanities. You've done the report in the field of psychology, and then this one is also going to be APA, and it is going to be based on the discipline of applied sciences. And within that particular field, we're going to focus specifically on the field of education. So if you click on that, and then you've got your folder set up here. You always want to go to the reading assignments first. Again, here is the link that I've included with every module or every unit about the library and database access info, should you need to do that to be able to access the databases. In your textbook, you've got Chapter 20, the proposals, and then also Chapter 55, the APA style of documentation and formatting. It is very important that you look at this particular PowerPoint here, the parts of the proposal essay. This particular essay is going to be about 7 pages long, but that does not mean 7 full pages of essay. You'll have the title page, you'll have an introduction page, you'll have 3 pages of actual essay, and then you'll have a conclusion page and a references page. So that's 7 pages total. It's really only about a 3 to 4 if you count the introduction and conclusion pages. It's really not any longer than what you did with the report, maybe just a little bit longer. And what you want to do is read every slide in this PowerPoint that shows the parts and what the parts should include. So it's very important that you view the parts of the proposal essay PowerPoint here. And then I have a list of resources here, APA resources, documents, tutorials that you need, the APA cheat sheet. There's a sample APA essay. There's a sample APA reference page. There's anything you would need here, or, knowing how to cite or format sources within your essay and on that reference page. So any resources you need for APA is here. And you can, again, also use your textbook, Chapter 55. And then this section just recaps what plagiarism is. I've put that in every unit as well. So be sure to read through those. And then you've got let's look at the resources down here before we go to the writing assignments. This explains what applied sciences are. And again, the field of education falls in that particular discipline. Here's that parts of the proposal essay PowerPoint again. Here's APA resources. There's a few more in here. How to use hanging indentation, title page template. There's all those in here too that you could use when preparing and creating this essay. And then of course here's the CVCC's Writing Center info and help. You can click here to receive some assistance from the Writing Center with your essay. All right, let's go to the writing assignments. All right, definitely please take note of due dates because they're all different. So if you notice here, you've got an outline that's going to be due by November 15th, which is this Sunday. You've got a proposal, full rough draft, due by Wednesday the 25th. And then you've got a proposal, final draft, due Sunday, December 6th. So you've got time to work on this assignment. I wanted to make sure you had a good few weeks to work on this as it's the biggest assignment. It serves as your final exam. So no late work can be accepted and it needs to be complete. Like whenever you submit your rough draft, it needs to be complete. Again, I've put this PowerPoint in every little folder just so that you'll know it's there and that you don't look past it, that you definitely click on this and view the PowerPoint. Here are the instructions for the proposal. So let's click on the middle link and it's going to bring up a Word document. Please make sure you read and follow these instructions. Again, this assignment is mandatory and all of the pieces are averaged in together, the rough draft and the final draft. So please make sure you do your best on both. And then a proposal is a persuasive document that sells the idea or service you are proposing. Proposals may be unsolicited or requested, internal or external. Now, what you're going to do is write a formal, persuasive proposal addressing a need or a problem related to the field of education, and there's plenty out there. This proposal should revolve around an education topic, about what's going on in education, a need on college campuses, or a major problem in public schools that needs to be solved. Then you're going to offer an idea, alternative, or a solution. So your primary audience will be the decision makers, whoever would be in that position to make the decision about your proposal. And most of the time, if you're writing it as far as for a need on college campuses, it's going to be the name of the president of the college, because usually the president and the board of trustees make decisions. If you're writing it for a particular school system, public schools, it's going to be needed to address to the board of education for that county, or the superintendent for that county. So you have a specific audience. I am not necessarily your audience. I'm your audience for your essay, but I'm not your audience for your proposal. So keep your audience in mind as you're writing this. Here are your choices. Okay, you've got 10 choices here. You choose one of these. You cannot choose any of your own unless you discuss it with me first. Like if there's one that's not on this page and you really want to write about it, you feel strongly about it, just run it by me and let me know. I've already had a couple students to do that, and that's perfectly fine. Otherwise, you need to choose one from the list. If I haven't heard from you as far as asking about doing a different topic, then you should stick to one of these. So you'll choose from this list. You'll include all the formal elements of a proposal outlined in that PowerPoint, parts of the proposal report. And you guys know that I've repeated and posted that in almost every folder in this unit. So be sure you look at that so you can see what the parts are made of. And remember, you're going to try to make your proposal as persuasive, believable, complete, and professional as possible. And always, again, keep your audience in mind. Your ability to demonstrate that you can write an effective proposal can only enhance your career options, because, one of these days you might have to, write up some type of formal document to persuade your coworkers, a supervisor, or whatnot from purchasing this particular software or trying out this new product or whatever. So you never know when it might be needed. This report should contain these parts, which are listed in that PowerPoint. You have a title page. You have an introduction page, which is about a half a page. Your introduction will be half a page. You have 3 full pages of discussion, which is 3 full pages of essay. Then you have a conclusion page where you have half a page conclusion. And then the last page is your reference page. Okay, and I said relax. It doesn't mean you're writing 7 full pages of essay. There are pieces and parts that are included in this formal document. 4 to 5 sources are required. It's not optional. You have to at least have 4 sources. These sources need to come from NC Live, or if you find other sources online, they need to be approved by me first. I need to look at them to make sure they're valid sources. So please be sure to use the databases. You can use NC Live or any others that are in the CVCC databases. And 2, it does the citing for you, which is another reason why I really encourage students to use the databases. Double space, 12 font, Times New Roman, 1-inch margins, all that's the same as what you've normally done. Again, this is an APA essay, so all sources listed on the reference page must be cited within the essay, just like it would for MLA. All sources cited within the essay must be cited on the reference page. So the sources have to match up in both places. I cannot stress this enough, guys. You do not want a 0 for not citing sources correctly. So any sources you list on your reference page, those sources must be cited within your essay. No extra sources. If you're not going to use them in both places, then you need to take them out. And if in doubt, always send me a message and say, hey, did I cite this correctly? Because that's what I'm here for. Organize your proposal. Typical organization plans include the 7-page format like we just talked about. Now, this one breaks it down specifically. Okay, gives you the title page, the introduction, the discussion section, and what that should include, and the conclusion, and then you've got the reference page. And remember, you're going to be graded and evaluated on what your persuasiveness, your content, you know, and you can use headings if you want to in this essay, just like you did the report, to break it down, because I think it makes it really aesthetically pleasing to look at a document like that. Making sure that it's complete, that you meet the length requirements. Make sure that's clear. Make sure that it's very organized, and make sure that you know it's creative. So those are the instructions. Now, I've also included, because you have the proposal outline guide that's due this weekend, if you click on the outline guide, basically what you're going to do is you're going to fill it in. Okay? You're going to fill it in. And you got title page over here. These are the parts. And then you will take your cursor and look at what it says to do here. What's your title going to be and who is it going to be prepared for? Then you'll just erase this and put your own in. So you can erase my instructions. Just make sure you answer those instructions and do what you're supposed to do. In your introduction page, you're going to tell what your educational topic is, give a brief overview of it. You can give some history of your topic. First person can be used in that introduction page. For the discussion section, there should be no first person. It should be strictly third person. So do not use you, do not use your, do not use I, me, my, we, our, so forth. So you're going to define the educational topic. You're going to, tell what you're proposing about the topic. You know, if you're telling me that standardized testing needs to be removed from all public schools, then you need to tell me why. You know, why are you proposing this? What are the problems with it? And then you're going to give me an alternative, because it has to be replaced by something. So if you're writing about standardized testing, you might say that, portfolios should replace standardized testing. And if you do research, you'll find out a lot about portfolios and how beneficial they are. Just make sure you're very detailed as possible. You're not writing out a full essay in this, but you do want to, you can make bullet points and be as, specific as possible. Also explain why your proposal is valid. What are going to be the benefits of it? And then you definitely don't want to include this part or exclude this part. You have to include it. Tell me the steps. How are we going to make this happen? Okay. And then summarize here briefly what your recommendations are, what your conclusions that you've come to. Okay. This will be what you fill in and submit for your outline. I also have a checklist here. If you click on the checklist is going to kind of give you a guide to make sure that you've done everything you need to do for this particular essay. Go down through here and look and make sure that you can go check, check, check. Yes, I did it. And again, this is just for you and for your reference and to make sure you've done everything you need to do for this particular essay. Here is another outline guide here. This is the link to submit your outline. This is the link to submit your first draft, and this is the link to submit the final draft. Okay. Now, if you go back really quick before we end to the resources, you should be able to look in here. You've got a sample, sample research essay. You could click on that to look at the sample. And I'm also going to upload a sample proposal essay that is going to be pretty helpful just to give you an idea. It's not 100% correct. There's probably errors in it because the student gave me permission to use it, but at least you'll be able to have some form of reference to look at. So I'll also add that here to the resources. So I'll put one up in just a few minutes. But if you have any questions whatsoever while you're working through this process, just make sure you drop me an email and I'll be glad to help. But you really want to focus on the field of education. Choose one of those topics or another that might be important to you, but run it by me first. And then you really want to do some research. You want to find as much research as possible to back you up, because you're going to address this problem or need, and then you're going to give an alternative or a way to make it happen, basically, because you're wanting to convince the powers that be that standardized testing should be removed, or that there should be a daycare center put on all college campuses. And then you're going to really make your case in your essay. Again, look for the sample essay that I'm getting ready to put in here in the resources section. Thanks. Let me know if you have any questions.